Hey everyone, good evening. Welcome back. Welcome for a detox practice tonight. We've got about a little over 10 minutes before we start, so if you're just jumping on, about 10 minutes or so, we'll get started with our practice right at 7:30 here on the West Coast. Hey Emily, same, nice to be here. Welcome. So I was just typing there on the live chat. If you'd like a playlist for the practice tonight, we're going to use the Detox playlist on my Spotify account, which is if you search Joe space Komar, Komar, and scroll down back to May 3rd, and you'll see a detox playlist there. We're going to use that one tonight. Hey, Sue. Almost midnight in Argentina. I know, it's so late. Are you practicing tonight? Oh, you're saying good night. You're going to bed, I'm sure. Maybe you'll do this one tomorrow sometime. Yeah, you may want to have that playlist. It's probably going to be pretty loud as the sun continues to go down here in Los Angeles. We tend to get the fireworks pretty much 360 degrees around our house. If you go upstairs, normally you can get quite the show going on with all the fireworks. Yeah, I'm going to be streaming or listening to the Detox playlist from May 3rd. So you're welcome to join me and listen to that playlist, or you can listen to any other Detox playlist that you'd like that's on my Spotify account. Hi, Nayeli. Hope everybody had a nice day up to this point. If you're getting set up for the practice and you have a yoga block, grab your yoga block. I left mine at the studio, so I'm actually using my foam roller, so you can definitely makeshift your stack at home, and you can use pillows or blankets folded. Lana, how are you? And we did some privates this morning at the studio and did a live session, or actually Jessica taught the live this morning, and I was just on the other side of the room practicing while she was teaching, which was great. And then we spent most of the day in the backyard here, just hanging out with our son, and did a little barbecue, and yeah, kind of brought us into the evening, which we were saying it feels pretty calm in LA right now. We know it's going to be loud tonight. I mean, the fireworks have been going for weeks, so it'll be loud, but the general energy feels somewhat calm right now. Valerie, hope you're doing well. Hope everything's okay in Colombia right now. Yeah, the eternal quarantine. I think, our minds want to just kind of phase it and segment it. And, I know even when we started to reopen and do things in our lives in Los Angeles, that, you guys in Argentina and other places, Colombia, still completely locked down in quarantine. So we're all kind of navigating this ride, if you will. And I think there's no simple line drawn of like, okay, now go back to do everything that you were doing before in your life. It's going to be, taking a step forward, taking a step back. I was talking about how we always want to kind of project our future as a linear, format, just like one step in front of the other. Well, it's actually much more abstract is the path. And so getting acquainted with that, if you've never, really looked at your life in that way, it's not that you're taking steps back in a negative way or positive way of taking steps forward. It's just this fact that you're kind of meandering on the path, and sometimes, we got to move around the path and then come back to the path. And yeah, it could just be a little bit though to get used to that. If everything's always been okay, do this, and then you kind of graduate and to do the next thing, and then do the next thing, and then do the next thing. So when we find ourselves revisiting, as simple as our yoga schedule now, back to 10 and then 7:30 at night because the studio's not open, you fall into it. That's the whole idea of yoga and yoga life, is that you build this framework inside of yourself, and so that as things and variables happen around you and therefore connect to you or impact you, that you don't freak out. You don't stress, and your body doesn't carry that stress. It's a little bit of that abstract dance. And so the framework was just, okay, if there's not group classes at the studio, then we go right back to our live classes at 10 a.m. and 7:30 p.m. our retreat schedule, because it's a little bit more I think on if you're not able to get to the studio here in LA, or it's just nice to have more bandwidth without teaching all the classes at the studio. So it's beautiful to be able to connect with everybody back in the evenings on these detox classes. Hi Lindsay. Hi Ben. Roz, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. And I'm sorry, you guys, when we changed the live to noon, I know that wasn't necessarily a convenient time for a lot of you to practice with us live, that we're practicing at 10. So that just kind of happens to be the time frame that is available once and when the studio classes are going, because 10 a.m. I'm teaching, and Jess, we're both teaching normally the group classes at the studio. So We got a couple minutes. You're still getting settled. Again, we're going to use a detox playlist from May 3rd. So if you wanted music, you can go to my account, and that's what I'll be listening to during the practice. I've actually listened to this playlist, I'd say probably 4 or 5 times this week alone. Sometimes you find, and that's what this music is out there for. Remember, they were all curated and created on the day during the first retreat schedule in quarantine. So every single day I was making a playlist for the morning class and then for the evening class. And so they're meant to be, kind of connected meditations, if you will, that we could always glance back on and practice with again. Oh, thanks, Roz. Yeah, we actually, the studio pause that we're taking right now, we we just thought that was the right thing to do right now. There's so many right things around gathering and connecting and what we all felt in the studio, and it's just going to be a really patient process to continue that. But the idea is to maintain the connection with all of you, and we can do that virtually, and as is safe and mindful to do so in person, we'll do that. We'll keep making mindful adjustments and continue to improve our process and our procedures, and felt good about all of that at the studio. But with the environment and everything and the way it's being communicated and everything that's going on around us, this seems to be the right thing to do right now. All right, 7:30, everybody. Let's start the playlist. If you're listening, go ahead and hit play. Get your volume set so that you can hear me okay on the video. And once you get your volume set okay, you can make yourself comfortable on your back. We'll lie down on the back with the legs long and the arms by your sides. And take your props, set them off to the side as you lie down. Adjust your hips. You can have a little tiny bend to your knees. You reset your shoulders and let your arms rest, please. And detox is great because you kind of give yourself to the process and the energy of the process in a different way. If you're used to in your vinyasa classes of, instigating quite a bit of focus and technique around the breath, you can let all of that go. And when you get to detox, there's really no focus at all when it comes to meditation. That's how you know, or maybe you don't know, and that's the point of it too, that you're actually in that meditative state is when you're not focusing in, you're in complete observation mode and letting it all happen with you included, body, mind, and spirit. And go ahead and take a few deep breaths. And fill your lungs and then patiently empty your lungs. And soften in the breath. Let the breath go. And bend your legs so that your feet are flat. And we're going to start and thread the needle. So left ankle to your right thigh. And you can keep your right foot down on the ground for now. Take your hands, rest them onto your belly. And give your hips a little rock side to side here. And bring your hips back to center, and then left hand through the middle. It's early, so let's start with the hands on the back of the hamstring. Okay, knuckles through knuckles, and so that your grip is locked in, cross your thumbs. As you keep the figure four shape with your legs, you just want to let your hips and your shoulders and through your upper back land on the mat. I love this pose because it kind of draws you out of the head. It takes you out of that kind of strict attachment that we have to our thoughts. As you feel the sensations in your hips. Maybe some emotion in your chest tonight. It's not easy right now. And let's just give ourselves into the energy of the environment and the practice and to the best of our ability. You can relax the jaw if there's any tightness in the jaw, and then close your eyes if they're not closed yet. And without pushing, without pulling, you can take a few deeper breaths here. As you soften with your next exhale, you bring your right knee in a little bit closer, and so that as you soften the grip, there's no boomerang effect there, and it's not like it's spring loaded, and then you can release the hands and let your right foot come back down gently. Uncross your left leg, bring both feet onto your mat. And then feel the release as you straighten your right leg and then straighten your left leg out onto the ground. And feel that release in your left hip crease. And then keep it simple and just cross your left ankle over your. And we'll take the hands up behind the head. Create a little cradle. And for their head to rest into your hands. And then your elbows can go out wide and then forearms back down towards the ground. And close the eyes, enjoy the rebound here. And then feel the return closer to your center. Float your head out of your hands. Bring your arms back down by your sides and uncross your left ankle. You notice, observe your body physically. As you come back into Shavasana. And go ahead and take a deeper breath in through your nose. Feel the belly fill up and then open your mouth and little sigh, exhale. And you bend your legs and then we're going to roll on to your left hip. So if you need to, scoot your bum over to the right a little bit. And come on to your left hip, use your right hand, and then come all the way up to your left palm. And so your left arm is straight with the hand about a foot and towards the top of your mat in front of your shoulder. And so that's the first little bit. Just get your left hand out there, and then you're going to straighten your legs. So straighten your left leg on the bottom, and then cross your right ankle over your left ankle on the top. And that should keep you balanced for then your ribs to fall away. It's a lateral kind of side bend through your torso. If you need any adjustments in the position of them, and then your right arms, you just kind of rest around your belly. As you feel stable, then chin to your chest. You feel the weight in the outer left hip and close the eyes. I mentioned this way, way, way back in quarantine, but when you feel that internal shifts in your mind where, you just want to run, you just want to go, you want to change your geographic. And during this time, that is the exact moment and to dive deeper into your practice of stillness. And it's probably in some ways that you're about to break a cycle of some sort that could be a little uncomfortable, but probably ultimately beneficial. And obviously, I say this to the group that is here practicing, so you're not the ones running geographically, but I bring this up in case that comes up in the future. Then you have, a little footnote from one of your practices to remind you. It might be a good time to just dive a little bit deeper into your practice, into your stillness, and to let come up whatever needs to come up. About one more minute in this position. It's okay if you're getting feelings in your hand, up into your shoulder, a bit of an ache, and of course the stretch in your side body as you open up the intercostal muscles. And relax the jaw, relax the face. Take at least one deep breath, if not a series of 3. And then when you are ready, open the eyes. Use your right hand on the mat. And then out the way you came in. So slowly start to bend your top leg. And then bend your bottom leg. Okay, turning so that you're square. Take your right hand behind you. And then let's come all the way down onto your back. Lie down. Okay, with your legs straight, and then when you bring your left arm by your side, you should be able to notice a significant difference. Not only in the breath, but in the feelings, in the structure of your body on the left side versus the right side. You settle here and enjoy the rebound. And notice whether you experience in that state of meditation for a millisecond or you're in it the entire time. Notice when you're in the space and there's little to less focus. And bend your legs, please, so your feet are flat. And keep your shoulders heavy and bring your right ankle onto your left thigh in a figure 4 shape. You can rest your hands on your belly and then rock a little bit side to side across the back of your hips. And next time your hips are square, and keep your head and shoulders heavy, reach your right hand through, and then make a connection with your hands on the back of your left leg. So the focus tonight is to keep your hips down, shoulders and head on the ground. Versus getting in there and pulling with your arms. You just want to weave the fingers together, cross your thumbs, let the knuckles lock the grip in, and then soften in the posture, release your muscles, all of your muscles while you're in the posture. And you may notice parts of your body. You may notice one breath cycle. It becomes more open. You draw your left knee in a little bit closer to your chest just so you don't have that boomerang loaded spring effect, and then soften your grip. Nice and easy, let your left foot come down onto the mat. And then take your right foot down onto the mat. Straighten the legs out and place your right ankle over your left ankle. And take the hands behind the head, make a cradle for the head. And close the eyes, feel the release of all the muscles on your face. It's quite nice. And you may find yourself in these rebounds going places you've never been before, feeling things that you haven't felt in a while. And keep giving yourself to the process. You hover the head, slide the hands out, and bring them down by your sides. Uncross your right ankle, and you're in Shavasana. You feel it when you take a deep breath and then you let out a big sigh. You're acknowledging the space and that you've created thus far in your practice, and that should feel pretty good. You bend your legs so that your feet are flat, and scoot your hips over to the left a little bit, and then roll onto your right side. And once you get onto your right hip, and press up so that your right palm goes out towards the top of your mat, and your arm is straight. You can start with your legs bent. And then as you find the balance, start to straighten your bottom leg. And your top leg ankle crosses over your bottom. And you want to be right on that outer hip, the greater trochanter it's called. And then your right hand's out front, and so that the shoulder can draw up as you release the ribs down. But the arm is straight, it's acting like a kickstand. And then your left arm can just rest around your belly. And soften the chin towards your chest. And begin to rest in the stillness. And feel the sensations. And let your mind do whatever it's doing right now. And if you're not feeling this in the right side body, you might have to bring that right hand in a little bit closer. And remember, it's a lateral movement through the torso, so like a crescent moon shape. And with your torso to feel it, breaking down tightness and that we're holding in the muscles between the ribs, the intercostal muscles. If you're getting those aches and those tingles in your right hand, pretty normal at this point. We'll stay just a bit longer, keep the jaw soft. And take your deep breath. Move slowly. And begin to bend your top leg. And then bend your bottom leg. And just kind of roll yourself back. And with your left hand behind you. And then make your way all the way down onto your back. And you feel the rebound as you lie down. And bring your arms by your sides, please. Just give ourselves into the energy of the process. We're not trying in any way to do anything with it. And just be in it. At the end of your next breath, and you can bring your arms over your head. Feel the length in your side bodies as you reach out and stretch. And bend your legs and then roll on to either side. And come all the way around into a tabletop, all fours. As you make your way to all fours, stagger your knees outer hip width distance apart. You bring your big toes together, and your bum's going to stay up. And we'll start by coming down onto our forearms. Elbows just out in front of your shoulders. And see how that feels. It should take a lot of the weight. If you had any weight sitting in your low back, it should take a lot of that out. If your shoulders feel pretty tight tonight, then you want to take the elbows a little bit wider. And then from here we can separate the palms as wide as the elbows, and then start to let the forehead come down. Keep the arms heavy. Let your forehead come to rest on the mat. And your hips stay up, and then let your belly drop down.
Nothing sharp, but if you need to make an adjustment, reset your forehead, and reset your arms, you can do that now. And then we'll begin to settle in the posture. You can stay where you are if you want to go a little bit deeper. You slide the hands forward. And then from your forehead, come onto your chin and let your chest get closer to the mat. You move slowly with some weight in your hands. And then bring your forehead back to the mat. And with a little draw through your belly and some weight in your knees, start to slide your hands back one at a time. Your arms should feel pretty heavy. And you just want to draw your hips back towards your heels. Bring your knees together as you do. And we're going to round ourselves over our thighs. And coming into a version of child's pose. And with your arms back by your shins, And then you can let the top half of the head come down onto the mat. If you need any props underneath you, pillows and blankets, be as comfortable as you can in this more neutral position. You're welcome to close your eyes and feel into your spine. Slide your hands under your shoulders. And with your eyes closed, just roll up one vertebra at a time. And this is going to bring you into a lighter line, neutral spine. Stack in your plumb line, shoulders over your hips, head over your heart. And then with the eyes closed, you should be able to feel into that space. Rest your hands in your lap. And enjoy it. Nice. Bring your eyes back into the space. And we'll set up for single pigeon. Bring your hands forward. And we're going to go left leg first. So left knee slides outside your left wrist. Bring that left heel forward so your shin's on an angle. Walk your right knee down your mat. And then once you start to feel the sensation of the stretch in the outer left hip to the outer left thigh, pause. And make your way down onto your elbows, down onto your forearms. And relax any weight in your body, let gravity, and bring your head down so you're not holding on. You're gripping the position. Without twisting out of it from the hips, you're welcome to stay on your elbows, but if you want to come down onto your chest, you can turn your elbows out And let your forehead rest on the back of your hands or all the way down onto the mat. And see that no matter what is going on around you, give yourself into the process and your practice. A nice long pigeon pose. We're going to stay for about 1 more minute. And from wherever you are in your pigeon, start to lift your head. Come back to your elbows. And from your elbows, you can come back up to your palms. And a little more weight into your right knee. Start to slide your left leg back. Okay, onto all fours. And let's feel that release come down onto your belly with your legs straight behind you. You might really feel that left leg and through your bum. Turn down onto your right cheek. And you can use your hands as a pillow and let it go. And turn the chin back. And bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And we'll come back up to all fours. You set up your pigeon on the right side. Slide your right knee forward outside your right wrist. And then bring your right foot forward so your shin is on an angle. And you can start to walk your left knee down your mat. As you walk that left knee back until you start to feel the sensation in your outer right hip. And then come down onto your forearms. And forearms to start, or forearms can be plenty throughout the duration of this posture. You don't have to force anything upon yourself. Find the space where you can settle. You can rest, and you will slow everything down without even trying. And if you'd like to come down a little bit further, take your elbows wide. And stack your palms and let your forehead rest on your top hand, please. Nice long pigeon. About 1 more minute on this side. And take your time as you start to lift your head. And come back to your elbows. And elbows back to your palms. You slide your hips back, bring your right knee behind you so you're on all fours. And then we're going to go ahead and release down onto our belly with the legs out straight. And this time the left cheek can turn down onto the mat, or you can use your hands like a pillow. And release, enjoy it. It's nice, your chest melting into the ground. Beautiful space you've created through your practice tonight. Turn your chin back to center. And bring your hands back underneath and up to all fours. And we'll make our way into a comfortable cross-legged seated position. So you can face the top of your mat. I'm simply going to face towards you all. You set one shin, one ankle in front of the other. If you need something underneath your bum, if your hips are still feeling tight, or if you're not feeling the lightness through your spine, put something underneath your bum. And take the back of the hands on your inner knees, inner thighs. Palms up. Spine stacked, eyes closed. And giving ourselves into the process requires trust. It means that we have to face beauty of our minds and sometimes the challenge of our minds. And the things that we agree with, the things that we don't. And now you can really sit outside of your attachment and observe. From human to human, heart to heart. And feel the walls coming down. I invite you to continue your meditation seated. However, if you're pretty uncomfortable, it's okay if you want to lie down on your back and come into Shavasana with your legs long and your arms by your sides. Thank you all so much for sharing your practice tonight, for giving yourself to the process and the practice when there's so many other things that you could be doing. And yet rather you're learning and developing and expanding your sense of being. You're a human being, not a human doer. Okay, take care of yourselves. I'm sending you all so much love. And sending this world love. Sending everybody love. Have a beautiful night. Namaste.